How China's Navy could come to rule the waves, and we were just talking about this with their ships, the sheer number of ships they have. Is the West right to be concerned about China becoming a maritime power? And how does the new AUKUS pact mean for the Indo-Pacific? How big is China's Navy compared to the United States? China boasts, I believe that is supposed to be boasts, the largest navy in the world in terms of total number of vessels and overall maritime capacity. It also has the largest coast guard with more than 130 large patrol ships and a significant maritime militia. In 2020, according to U.S. Department of Defense estimates, China's Navy boasted, who wrote this garbage? A total of 333 vessels. You're fucking fired! Okay, sorry. Compared to the U.S. Navy's 296, the majority of the vessels in China's growing fleet are missile-armed coastal patrol craft, corvettes and frigates, diesel attack submarines, and destroyers. Did you hear the submarine?
No, hang on.
What?
Remember you used to live in the house with me when my mother back then?
Oh God, that was.
I can't remember how many times in the middle of the night I'd hear you. You're fucking fired. That's how I could tell he started to get really fucking aggravated. Middle of the night, I'm trying to sleep. You're fucking fired. I'm like, it's Steve. He's
I don't even remember what that's all about. Yeah. Funny guys. I got that from another NCO named Tony, who would fire you 7 or 8 times a day.
Yeah, rehire you, fire you. Yeah. But look at that, 333. I mean, that's a demonic number right there.
It's a large number, but here's the thing. The majority of these are coastal patrol aircraft, corvettes and frigates. Okay, yeah, those are battle-worthy vessels, but they can't operate on the class of an American destroyer or an Aegis.
No, but China has destroyers, which, you know.
They do have destroyers, and that mentions this there. But here's the thing. They're submarines.
Yep.
Diesel attack submarines. You're basically driving a jalopy through an aluminum garage underwater, signature-wise, sound-wise.
Yes.
Those diesel subs
are loud as hell.
Huge noise signatures.
Correct.
Absolutely enormous noise signatures. So unless they've got numbers or nobody's paying attention at all on the sonar deck, those subs are almost useless against our fleet.
I would have to agree. Now, I'm not up to speed on our Navy's, cutting technology and what they can and cannot do at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think, with all of the money we fucking spend, because I think we're spending 4 times the amount that China's spending on their defense force or their military budget, that we would have the whiz-bang material to find that shit.
Doesn't require whiz-bang. These diesel subs
are loud. I know.
World War
I know, but I was
the tech was.
I'm trying to remember where I read this. My thinking meat is failing me, but I believe we have satellite capabilities to look down and actually see the subs in the deep ocean by the pattern of the water, because they're moving through. They're still disturbing the water in some form or fashion.
I personally never saw anything like that, but that would make a great deal of sense. I know you can see wake patterns, even if your satellite is got a pattern this big, and the enemy cruisers are outside of that pattern, but you can still see the wake pattern in the satellite image.
Yep.
Now, I know that's true. I've seen that. So
I can't remember where I read it, so I mean, I could have.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah,
it's entirely possible. Plus, you've got ground penetrating radar has been around for some time.
Mm-hmm.
I will bet you they've got satellite mounted ocean penetrating radar.
You're probably
that can see to a depth. I have no idea what that depth would be.
It's probably classified,
but yeah.
I'm pretty sure like we've just appeared on 2 or 3 monitors and alphabet agencies because we're talking about satellite technology.
Relax, guys. FBI agents is freaking fractious. Sit back down. Enjoy your power bars and misery. We're not talking about anything weird here.
Just take a chill.
Take a chill. So one of the key pillars of the U.S. military strategy is to form coalitions to deter China in the Indo-Pacific region. However, having a deterrent force in the region puts significant strain on the U.S.'s budget, which means strong allies to share the burden. It needs strong allies to share the burden of maintaining this force. Now, in the Pacific, right now, what we have is Pac Fleet.
Yep. Well, I mean, hang on. Australia is there. Maybe they could help. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Australia.
It's China, basically, now.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Forget Australia. Just sit down.
How about New Zealand?
No,
not New Zealand either. South Korea's got naval vessels, but they are very focused on coastal.
Correct.
They have nothing deep water.
But they do have anti-ship missiles.
They do have anti-ship missiles.
So does Vietnam.
Yeah.
So does South Korea, Philippines.
Yeah, but
Japan.
Trying to get the Filipinos to do anything remote.
I was actually going to ask about the Philippines, and then I'll be like, oh wait, they just got fishing boats.
Yeah.
Look, you're talking about a country that measures driving distances in cigarettes and considers it a good day if you get one thing done.
Oh, it's a good day.
I've been there.
I myself have never been there.
Yeah. They're nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want them in my Navy, except as cooks. All of the cooks in the Navy are Filipino for some reason.
Well, okay.
You get the rice. Rice with everything. Filipino food is actually pretty good. So why is the U.S. concerned about China's Navy? Is China's growing naval power in the Indo-Pacific really that scary? According to U.S. Congress reports, China's military modernization efforts, particularly that of its Navy, is now the top priority for U.S. defense planning and budgeting. The Chinese Navy is seen as a significant threat to the U.S. Navy's ability to achieve and maintain control of blue water ocean areas in the Western Pacific. Now, here is what I know. I think the real threat comes from the fact that our Navy is seriously degraded.
Oh, yeah.
We have all of these ships. A bunch of them are no longer seaworthy. And we don't have the people to maintain them anymore because the officers coming out and the engineers coming out and the crews coming out are all DEI certified.
Yeah. Oh, you mean they're C+ people?
They're C+ people.
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. The equipment is degrading and the Navy is overly gaying.
Yep.
Yes.
God.
It is it's a miserable situation. When I went in, there was only one school, one initial entry school harder than the one that I went through, and that was the Navy nuke school.
Phrasing.
People that's what it's called. It's literally called the nuke school.
Mm-hmm. Those guys make bank once they get out of service.
They make so much money. Them and the underwater welders.
I know 2 nuke guys that are pulling 150 G's a year.
Easily. Yeah. Probably more by now.
I haven't talked to him in years. You're probably right.
That was the hardest school right out of basic that you could go to. So now we've got guys coming out of that school, well, if they're guys at all, that are, like Pop said, it's the C+ crowd. Our own Navy is
talking about
a bigger threat to our Navy than somebody else's Navy.
You're talking about the zipper tits and clits?
I might possibly be. Yeah.
There you go.
Talking about all this. This was the hardest class, and talking about seamen and just there's all of the phrasing when it comes to talking with the Navy. All of the phrasing.
Okay. This is a true story, and it's very short, so I'm going to tell it now. When I got to Presidio of Monterey, my first school duty station, the naval debt commander was Commander Blow.
What?
And they had just got
Blow?
And the Navy, Commander Blow, and the Navy had just gotten a new class for the Russian school, one of whom was a young blonde female named Seaman Swallow.
Get the fuck out of
This
here.
actually happened, I swear to God. I swear on my sainted grandmother's grave.
Okay, okay, okay.
Commander Blow and Seaman Swallow.
All right.
The Army basically couldn't stop laughing, and the Marines couldn't wait to get started.
Listen, if I had a commander with the last name Blow, I would fuck with that guy mercilessly. I don't care what rank he is.
There was much fucking of the commander.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was major fucking of Commander Below.
Yes.
Praising.
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Just as I was leaving, we got privates, sergeant and sergeant, a married couple.
Huh?
Yeah. Their last names were sergeant. I wouldn't want to have gone through basic training with those last names. Anyway, our Navy is its own worst enemy right now.
Correct.
It is degenerating. It is going to hell in a handbasket. A lot of our ships are not seaworthy. I don't know that there are naval commanders out there. A fleet commander, like a pack fleet commander, he is operating from one command vessel. In pack fleet, it was the Blue Ridge when I was in. I think it's still the Blue Ridge. He's got 70 other ships to control.
Or worry about.
Is frigates and destroyers and the carrier and its tenders and all of its security and everything.
Yep.
That requires a tremendous amount of skill and knowledge. I don't think we have the commanders to do that anymore. I don't know where they would be coming from.
No, C+ commanders are not going to be able to do that.
To command a whole fleet like that.
You're not going to, I'm sorry, diversity hires are not going to perform at that level, at least from what I've seen.
So this is the waterborne version of our bases being
wide open.
Correct. Because if those fleets can't properly defend themselves, they have ships that are specially designed to do one thing: protect everything else in the fleet, especially that carrier and that command ship.
Mostly the carrier.
If they can't coordinate and do their job correctly, you're basically rowing around the ocean in a bunch of bathtubs.
Correct. I mean, what are you going to do?
When's the last time America saw a real naval defeat?
Well, here's the thing: is I've been talking about this for about 20 years,
right?
About how we cannot sustain a volunteer military. It's just not going to happen.
Not with this.
Well, no, I noticed it 20 plus years ago with the toxic and incompetent leadership we had back then. I can only imagine how many times worse it is today.
Yeah.
I watched toxic commanders run good people out that were never going to be replaced.
That's 2004. Yeah, I was seeing that.
Yeah. There you go.
Our task force, we got a new guy. His first name was Porfirio. He stood there and briefed his new unit, which was a crack intelligence unit of NCOs and warrant officers, and revealed that he had a word of the day calendar on his desk by continuously using the word portend. To the point where one of the guys reached over into a drawer and grabbed one of those little number clicker things and started counting.
Nice.
My buddy John, we're standing there listening, and John goes, 19, 20. And this guy was supposed to be in command of this unit that was supporting all of the SOF activity in that area. And he was clearly full of himself, clearly way not as educated as he thought he was, and had no idea at all what our mission was. He walked in and started telling the unit what it was going to do.
That's a big mistake.
Which is the very first sign of a very bad commander.
Correct. I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
And I can't speak on experience because I am neither a military nor naval man, but I've seen the pictures going around. The picture that the Navy posted a couple weeks back with the rear admiral or admiral firing the M4.
Oh yeah,
scope on backward.
The scope was on backwards. The delta ring was not fully secured on the quad rail. He was chicken winging like a crazy bastard, and the butt stock was way up on his shoulder. The foregrip was, you might as well, foregrip was like 4 inches away from the trigger. I'm like, I'm not even a military guy, and I'm like, my rifle is set up better than that one.
I will say this about that, though. In my experience, that's pretty much any non-combat arms officer.
Correct. They're so fucked when it comes to that
Yeah,
shit.
it's
but-
kind of always been that way.
Yes.
But you would think, even if it was just a lower enlisted, just a regular army guy or the armory guy saying, "Hey, let's take a picture of our admiral, make him look badass," you think they would get a few things right.
There are two schools of thought there. One,
Purposely let them look fucked up.
purposely let him look ate the fuck up like a soup sandwich.
That's what I would do.
I would absolutely, sir, here's your soup sandwich.
Yeah, if he was a shit commander, yes, I could think that going on.
No,
but-
you wouldn't even have to be a shit commander, Jimmy. We will just screw with you endlessly just
Yes.
because.
Yes.
Okay, I can see
We
that.
don't need an excuse to screw with you. Have you not figured that out yet? Blake
have
figured
not.
it out years ago.
Yes, it did.
We're going to screw with you. Just
Yep. But then again, I'm watching the TikToks and the shorts and all the other stuff that the lower enlisted are putting out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. The joke is the Navy is always gay, but this is like overtly, like in your face. Yes, this is we are destroying ourselves from within stuff. I'm like,
I'll tell you.
yeah,
right now, the
there's
Army
a reason
stuff
why
I've
the world
seen-
is laughing at us.
the Army stuff that I saw, if I was an NCO in that unit, there would be a whole bunch of court martials, and it wouldn't just be the privates; it'd be their leaders.
Yep.
I would be writing a whole lot of recommendations for court martials.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's necessary.
Yeah.
There's a difference between playing grab ass and actually grabbing ass.
When you take an oath, you also take an oath to uphold the name and honor of your unit. You don't just swear to defend the Constitution. You have reputation.
Well, there's a Ranger Creed.
Yeah.
I used to know that by heart. I don't anymore,
Yep.
but
Well, what was it a couple of years ago with that 88 Mike, all Corporal Carpet Muncher,
Corporal
saying that
Carpet
Corp-
Muncher.
yeah, she was on TikTok saying, "Oh, if martial law is implemented and I am in your area, you civilians, you listen to me. If I tell you go inside, you go inside. If not, I'm going to take you out." I'm like, and then Pop, you and someone mentioned that someone in the chats mentioned that she was an 88 Mike, so she's basically a glorified driver.
correct.
88 Mike is a truck driver. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
My
so
bunkmate basic was a truck driver. And
yeah, and it was like a couple days or a week later, she completely locked down all of her social medias because everybody found out, oh, well, here's your rank and here's what you are, blah, blah, blah. You're full of shit. No one's going to listen to you. Shut up, Corporal Carpet Muncher. Nope, she wasn't a corporal. She was I can't remember what. Yeah, I can't remember what her rank
Just
was, but
specialist. Yeah. We just call them specialists.
I just called her Corporal Carpet Muncher because apparently she was a, scissor kicking liver licker.
Scissor kicker.
Gotcha.
Doing scissor kicking. Wow, did we go down the rabbit hole? You know what? We need a rabbit hole warning video.
We
need like a 3-second rabbit warning video that we can throw out there when we start to go too far down the hole.
Just the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. I'm late.
I was thinking more the Vorpal rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
All right. So do we have I'm just wondering if we have an actual count of all of the anti-ship missiles held by all of the other countries in that body of water that's threatened by China.
I don't think anybody has a count on those. That's not something that's readily given up.
I understand that, but I'm just, if we can get a ballpark, because here's the thing. China is a juggernaut.
Yes.
They've already done a lot of fucked up shit, and they've demonstrated to the world that they are not our friends in any way, shape, or form. And like Japan is probably going to have to, break a piece off in their ass So is South Korea. Because if they want to actually engage in free trade, they're going to have to either get rid of China or degrade them to the point where they stop fucking with them.
One of the reasons that I don't believe that China will go full invasion,
You don't think they'll go full retard?
I don't think they're going to go full potato,
Okay.
is they have too much economic clout built up around the world right now. They've got a lot. They've got their Silk Road project going on in Africa, and they've got a lot of tentacles in South Africa. They're building a lot of economic resources. So for them to suddenly expend a huge chunk of those resources in a military conflict, which very well could piss off a very large chunk of the world, especially the Western world, I don't know that it's politically sound for them to either mass invade
Mm-hmm.
or do something really stupid and drop like a small nuke on Taiwan, because it wouldn't take a big nuke.
No, it wouldn't.
Taiwan's a little itty bitty tiny country.
You could take it out with the Davy Crockett.
Yeah. So I don't believe that China has the incentive for a full-blown invasion. I think blockade.
Yes.
I think they would blockade. I think they would use SOF and disrupt Taiwan's like critical infrastructure. I could see them doing that. Or interdicting Taiwanese ships going out or coming in. I don't see a big front page splash invasion scenario from China, though. I think they have too much on the table economically. That's my personal opinion on the matter.
I got you. My opinion is this. They'll probably play around with the blockading thing at some point, and then they'll fall back to subterfuge. But if it goes on long enough and they don't get their way, I can see China at some point trying to forcibly invade Taiwan.
I think that would take a rogue officer on China's part for a full invasion. They essentially already have the blockade in place right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those exercises going on around Taiwan and everything, I'm betting you that's putting a little bit of a damper on trade with Taiwan right now.
It probably is.
If I had $17 billion worth of merchandise on 8 ships headed toward Taiwan, I wouldn't put all of that money.
Wouldn't want to risk it. Yeah, that's wise. Turn them back.
Yeah. I'd go to Hong Kong, or I'd go to Australia, or any other number of places. Macau, Indonesia, somewhere where I could get that material off and sold, rather than risk approaching an island and being boarded by Chinese SOF.
Well, here's another thing. As I do not want to have a major war where we have to fight in the Pacific again.
Please no.
Because I watched all that World War II footage of fighting in the Pacific, and they can just off with all the fucks. No,
Yeah.
I just no.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
There's also the fact that Taiwan has stuff that's useful to China.
Mm-hmm.
Their industry and all of that. What I mean is they wouldn't shell it.
Well, here's the thing, though, is I know Taiwan is probably put in place. It's the equivalent of scuttling charges. So China does not get their technology; they just destroy it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
I've
talked
pretty
about that before. South Korea has stuff like that.
Yeah, it's an Oriental thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
or they'll make the harbors impassable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get overrun, might as well just pull out the full dick card and fuck everybody. I mean, why not?
Exactly.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.